Championship Series World of Tanks clan matches. Tonight, we're going to have two clans battling it out, Tactical Gaming and 2nd Panzer Division. And we're happy that everybody could join in. We'll be on a stream delay of 10 minutes approximately, but you can tune into Twitch or you're already there. And we look forward to an action-packed night. We're going to be starting with the home team of Tactical Gaming, who has picked Berlin to start it out. Tonight, we also have Dis from Punished is here commentating, and Beaver from Wednesday Night Fights. And you can find the Twitch channel by searching Wednesday Night Fights. And moderating will be Sinister Phase from Nightmare, and he's actually running the whole Global Tank League. And I've been playing it, and it's been lots of fun so far, and I hope tonight is full of action and excitement.
Well, that sounds perfect.
I practiced.
It sounds like Lucky's ready for some action tonight.
Lucky's ready to stream herself.
No. My face is red, even though y'all can't see me.
So as you guys know, tonight's matchup between 2nd PD and TG is ultimately for first place in the Intermediate League. And for everybody tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. One thing I do want to say is that these two teams are at the top of the NA division. However, in the NA division, or I'm sorry, not in the NA division, in the North American Intermediate division, there can only be two teams that go to the playoffs. The other 16, if you will, 14 teams are the 8 championship division teams and 6 of the pro division teams. So tonight is a big matchup for both of these teams. And what do you guys think?
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm looking for. Yeah, this is going to be a heck of a matchup, and I think close on their heels is that Clogs team, that KLOLGS. So this is important for both these teams to come out on top. It should make it a great matchup.
Definitely. Both of these teams have been just killing it.
There's a great turnout from both of them tonight. I bet the pressure's high and the nerves are high.
Mm-hmm.
City map, so we're
posted.
expecting to see probably a bunch of super heavies, maybe machines. I've not gotten a chance to watch either of these teams, but I wonder how many machines are out there. I'm
sure
obsessed with my hatred of the machine, but that's very isolated. I think the people who have them love them. I don't appreciate mine, but they can be game changers.
I'll tell you this, Lonky. I love the machine. It's my favorite tank, and it's been a killer in this tournament. And I think we're seeing that it's not only a comp viable tank, but it's a dangerous tank at the end of the game. Don't know how effective on this map. Meta kind of on Berlin tends to be like a 9-0 line brawl. But there's been a few teams that have experimented kind of swinging some tanks out wide and trying to get some flanks. So it's going to be interesting to see from both these teams. Do they kind of stick with the meta, or are we going to see something a little different tonight?
Well, I can't wait to see.
Well, I hope you guys are ready. Both teams are ready. They're all set to go. So in just a moment here, I'm going to be starting the timer, and we'll get this underway.
Yep, let's do it. I also want to bring up
let's go to battle.
As you all know, GTL, you got to have points to be in the lead. These guys are only separated by 2 points right now.
Ooh.
So
I believe, I think it's 2 or 4.
It's close. It's very close. So these teams are going to be looking to get max points out of the night.
Absolutely, and TG actually dropped to K-Logs 3-0. However, K-Logs used a player in 2 matches, I believe, that was not on their roster. So they unfortunately had to give back some of those points, but that was kind of a saving grace right there for TG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I saw that TG, I guess up until that point, had been undefeated, like they had dropped
Oh,
the
yeah.
match here and there, but they haven't lost yet, have they?
No, the first loss I guess, were handed was from K-Logs, who at the same time hadn't lost a match. But they did lose to second PD, I do believe, 3-0. But up until that point, both teams had not lost.
Makes it even better.
Pants, is there still time to add people to the roster, or how is that?
Yes,
that
actually,
time frame
announcement's
right
coming
now?
tomorrow. Saturday at midnight will be the last day to add somebody to your roster if you have moves available. Each team only has 5 moves.
Okay, that's good information, because it would be really sad to get
Yes,
DQ'd. So get your boys and gals registered.
it's happened. Believe it or not, some of the championship league teams have done the same thing. Um, they've used some players that were not authorized. I believe RNC got a victory from CZR the same way. Believe it or not.
Mm. Mhm.
It looks like TG put the 2 tanks up.
Yeah,
Second
everyone's
Panzer.
waiting till the end, huh?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, this is dangerous. This is very dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you now.
This is,
I'm not
Yeah.
waiting.
flirting with
Once
disaster.
it hits 0, we're going.
On your 6, flirted with disaster, and we are well aware of it. This disaster, if you don't get your tanks picked in time,
Oh yeah.
we'll
It's
never do
actually
it
happened
again,
to
though.
quite a few
That's the key.
teams.
Yeah. I would hope that no team does it twice.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's a fun game to
terrible.
play until it blows up in your face.
Mhm.
And there goes
Okay.
second.
Ooh, there they all
Panzer,
come.
getting them up there.
Lonky, do you want to kind of run down Second Panzer's tanks real quick?
Sure, Odin's Cavalry
The
coming out in an
IS-7.
E4, and Private Militia, or PVT Militia, also in an E4. King Donkey Wolf Silver Tough Enough in 3 IS-7s. Killer Calf Scout and Kinga 26 in Super Conky Donks. Coco Nico and Leets, or Lights 24, both in AMX 50Bs.
Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, you can only have 2 of the same tank, so one of those
Yeah, they pulled
IS-7s
down
is
one
going
of
to have
them.
to be taken back. Yep.
Ooh, I don't think they got it up.
Ooh.
Nope, they did have 8 tanks, I do believe.
Oh, so they pulled
But,
one down. Good.
They pulled one down and they picked up another one.
Good for them.
I do believe.
Okay, that was a little worried there for a
Close.
second. Yep. I said, did we
Boy.
just curse them with our conversation?
It's still a dangerous strategy. I've
Sure.
always preached for a long time. Don't leave the timer to fate. Get your tank selected and get
Yeah.
on with it.
Yes.
Who's in
let's
TG?
try to,
Well, we don't know. Yeah, let's. I
Let's go
missed
through
their
TG real quick.
tanks.
It looks like they're having out 2 50Bs, 1 I-7, a Jag Pansy 100 TD. That's going to be very interesting. An OBJ 263 and 2 Panzer 7s and a 705A.
It's interesting picks from TG. I definitely think you're going to see some 9-line fights. I don't know if anybody tuned in and watched
Yeah.
Nightmare versus KMD, but that's pretty much where all the fighting occurred in both scenarios.
Like I said, that has been the meta, but if you notice, Second Panzer is not, at least initially, grouping up on that 9 line. Looks like they're all kind of getting together around the 7 line, which is kind of interesting.
It's like
More of a
Odin's
spread
Cav.
formation, maybe even a turtle, and to invite them into a little bit of a trap along the G line.
What's interesting here
Well,
is that Jag Panzer 100 is going to have to be very careful. So he's got 2 50Bs coming in backside, and that'll hurt.
That's what we were talking about a little bit earlier before the match started, about some of the teams have been kind of like on the Himmel strat, where you, as teams go to the hill, you circle some fast autoloaders behind and try to get some quick damage.
Yeah, that's been the new meta for that map now for probably ever since the first GTL, I would say. It's
Yeah.
You see those 50 Bravos just come scorching in and trying to catch tanks going up the hill.
I-7's
I think that's
gonna be
what-
caught out right here.
What happens to work now on this map, since the meta is the 9 line, you can kind of,
Oh,
oh boy, they
fire.
burnt down J-Cal. Wow.
Jay.
Oh,
Ouch.
no.
and
Fire
time to go for
extinguisher.
the 50Bs.
Looks like the other
And
50
not,
Bs from TG are going to push.
yeah,
A pretty big loss early on that was preventable.
well, and two things. One, they took out a tank. They got away for free, meaning that they pulled the other two 50Bs off. And this is now allowing 2nd Panzer to push in pretty hard.
It is, and their Jagdpanzer 100 is now down to half health as well.
Yeah, I think their Panzer 7 is also at half health or less. Wow, a lot less, about a third.
Both Panzer 7s.
Health. Yeah,
Sending
so
in
those
a mud, part
E4s
of
have
Mud
been.
Turtle by himself.
Yeah, there goes a Panzer 7. You know, it's tempting to take that bait and chase those 50Bs, but you're
50
leaving
DP takes a
huge
big hit.
overmatch.
Odin's cavalry takes down Dingiest Rat.
2nd Panzer needs to clean this up here at the 9 line.
Here's the push right here.
Now it's just the E100. Oh, and he didn't even pin a shot. He just tracked. Wow. I'm going to say this 2nd Panzer's 50Bs coming around the backside was what opened this strat up right away.
See, I'm a firm believer, if you're going to pull off a camping strat, I'm a firm believer, if there's blind spots where your team can absolutely get wrecked on, you need to try to get somebody out there
Got to cover it.
spotting
And if
that.
you look,
You want to know ahead of
Yeah.
time what's going to happen to you.
well, even if you kind of look down that DC line, you can see there are nice berms where you could even have stuck one of those IS-7s looking down towards the west side of the map, and that wouldn't have happened. Would have been pretty easy to stuff. Didn't do it.
It's over.
There it
1-0.
is, game one.
2nd Panzer coming out big.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, we'll just go down the damage real quick. Looks like TG coming out with one of their 50Bs dropping 5,300 damage. The second 50B can get maybe 2 shots in, a kill.
2,300. 2,300.
Yes.
You're
It's hard. I
talking about
can't see the other
5,300.
guys. My TG logo is covering
I
the
mean,
top guy. I couldn't see
5,300
his
would
name.
be nice, but it's a hell of a difference.
It threw me off because I was trying to see the guy's name.
It's alright. Sorry.
Pug V2 with 518 damage. Dingiest Rat coming in with the 0 in that Panzer 7. Traumatos coming in with 1134. Okay, how do you pronounce blue?
Blue crabs are fun.
Blue crab.
Blue crabs are
Man,
fun.
Blue crabs are fun.
Yeah.
Coming in with 931. Gold Peak coming in with 2692. And rounding up with Bull Monkey and J Cow coming in with 0s. J Cow just never had a chance when those 50Bs came around on him.
Yeah, I think Lights in that 50B, he was 8 for 8. He was just dealing damage. 2 full clips, all pinned.
He had a perfect record, 888. They both were casualties, but they certainly did their jobs. We had
Absolutely.
a big high damage from the E4. Also good efficiency, 665 for the shots fired.
Yeah, good stuff. That's what you want from those big alpha guns. Lots of pins.
Pretty great even damage spread overall as well.
Well, so it'll be interesting now to see how TG responds. If they're going to go with a turtle again or try to get a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah,
I
I'm
also
hoping for a
wanted
little
to
bit
say-
more aggressive. Splitting up, I mean, getting angles. If you can figure that out fast enough and just capitalize on your overmatches, you're so much better off. But I've always been a firm believer in the more angles of fire you have, the better off you're going to be. People can
Yes.
angle their tank specifically for one direction of fire, but trying to hold off in 3 or 4 different angles, that's tough. So I'd like
Yeah.
to see him be just a little bit more aggressive. Generally, if you're staying in the same spot, you're not rotating, um, you're just setting yourself up for the other team to say, okay, this is what they're going to do, then we're just going to go here, we're going to go there, and we're just going to get around it. So I like to
Yeah,
see
you can
teams be a
pick them
little bit more
apart
mobile.
and yeah, pick them apart and bleed them. Once the teams that sit in one place, you're giving the advantage to the other team, unless you got a good trap or a good strat that's really going to bait them in.
All right,
I
down to
wanted
2 minutes
to
left on the timer.
say hi to Hells, and he should be here tonight, but he had prior commitment, and he's out having a great time, and we appreciate all the work that he does, and we get to fill
Yes.
in for his show, but we miss you, Hells, and we're taking good care of your Wednesday night fight stream. Thank you for
Absolutely.
letting us be here.
So after this match is over, as we've talked about, is we're just going to do a little bit about standings, just go over the standings a little bit for all the divisions really quickly,
Cool.
and just kind of give a heads up to where everybody's at. A couple other games going on tonight as well. So these teams, I do believe, I'll have to go back and look. I do believe these teams are going to be playing again in 2 weeks. I do believe.
Oh,
They'll be the last
outstanding.
match of the season. I'll go back and look, but I do think they're going to get to see each other one more time.
Good. Second Panzer dropping in all their tanks. 6 of them at least. 2 more to go.
Yeah, they seem to have that strategy down to just, very, very last second. We're all on our tanks, and when the commander says go or the caller says go, that seems to be when they're all picking them up.
Yeah, that's kind of how we normally run it throughout the tournament. People know their tanks, and then we say put them up.
Somebody's going to get caught. They got 20 seconds to get all those tanks up.
Ooh, come on.
I got him.
2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah,
6,
they
7,
got
8. All right, everybody's good.
No eyes
Pushing
there
the
for TG
edge.
side. Yeah, there it is.
So, how many weeks? I should know this, Sinister, but how many weeks total is it? 7 or 8?
So it's 7 weeks, 7 actual weeks, but there's 14 rounds. So all teams have been playing 2 matches a week. Some teams have had the luxury. There have been a couple of drops, more so on the European side of things than on the North American side of things. Surprisingly, only 1 North American clan has dropped. On the EU
That's
side,
really good.
you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've had about 5 drop on the EU side.
Let's run down their tanks. Can I do TG?
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Gold Peak in his OBJ 263. Blue Crabs are fun in the E4. J Cal in the IS7. Bull Monkey OBJ 705. Herd Mud Turtle is T57 Heavy, along with Cruiser, also in the same tank. Traumatosis in the Panzer 7, and Dingiest Rat also in the Panzer 7. Ooh, they're splitting up too. Second PD.
Yeah, you're seeing that right away. Is a big spread there.
Got 2 E4s, Odin and Private Militia, and Wolf is in an IS-7, Kokoniko Machine. There's the Machine. Dun, dun, dun. Killer Cav in a Super Conk, along with Kinga and Leets 24 in the 50B, and King Donkey in a Wazi 111 5A.
Let's take a look at this 3-line right here with the Machine, the 50B, and the 5A.
This
Yeah.
TG doesn't know it yet, but they have a massive overmatch on the south.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if they spot the machines in the 50Bs, they're probably going to take it. I hope they do anyway, so we'll see.
Yep, well, here goes the 50B starting to drop some. 2 shots pinned.
Oof.
Tracking shot. And another tracking shot. Oof. TG's sending the 257 heavies, it looks like. At least one of them down towards that. But
Crusher's got to be careful. He's in kind of a bad spot if those Conquerors get up on that ridge line. They can hit him from behind.
if that machine and 50B rotate, they are going to be able to clip one of those
Looks like you're
guys
going to have a little
out.
bit of a push.
It's almost like a push in two directions, right? They're dropping to
It kinda looks
counter
like
the
that.
50B.
Their heads up on one side, and they got a severe overmatch on the other, but they're Panzer wagons taking some big hits.
Yep.
On the bright side, their IS-7 and E4 look like they're going to get the best of Wolf.
These Conquerors are in a good spot for 2nd Panzer to kind of farm these guys as they push through that 9-line gap. And you're starting to see this. They're not even looking at those two conks. Those conks are farming
Take
for
down
free.
the E4. Yeah, they've got matchups all over the place. They've lost 2 tanks. It's the 57 heavy. It's I think the far superior tank to the 50 Bravo, and he's going to go down right here. Yep. It's still fairly
Wolf
close.
is hanging on by a thread. He goes down. EG won the overmatch on the 9 line, and they just have these two Conquerors that are out in the open field now to whittle down. This could be big for TG.
It could be. We'll see what happens here. Oh, they lose 2 tanks. Ouch.
It's just the health of that 5A.
Oof.
That machine. Ooh.
Still very
In trouble.
close. Oh, he does take down.
Nice shot by the 263. That was a big shot right there.
See if he can grind out that WZ, and he does. Ouch.
Killer Cav
This is gonna
went
be
down
close.
in his conch. A lot of low health one-shot tanks right there. The 705A is a one-shot. Other 2 tanks are 2 shots. So yeah, it's close.
Oof. Makes the WZ-111.
E4
Oh, he misses his shot.
Oh,
Oh no, 263's taking
That
down
was
5A right
devastating.
here. Here it comes. Oh, he bounces. Oh,
oh, Kinga
Ouch.
with the move jukes the Panzer. Oh, but doesn't get the kill shot. Oh my god.
oh.
Good shot there by Kinga. Oh, nice shot there by Rat.
It's a one-on-one. Wow. Dingiest Rat has the health. He can do this.
Yeah, he can take 2 shots. For sure.
The WZ-111-5A is coming in for a kill. He's got to be careful though. Oh,
We missed. I would almost play the mobility game with the 5A instead of the face-off game versus
absolutely.
You got mobility. This guy does not. He does slow turret turn, slow tank turn, traverse. And you got time on the clock. I think that's maybe what he's choosing to do. Yeah, let him chase me. Better make a turn here, though. Ooh, I would have gone the other way.
Oh, safe.
But I think this is the move, is get him to chase.
I like that
Tanks are
idea.
undetected now.
Make him chase you around a little bit. I definitely he's got the right idea. I was gonna say I wouldn't start chasing him to the outside. I'd try to stay towards the middle. He can take 2 hits from that WZ-111-5A. As long as he just takes his time, hits one shot, he should have it.
Yeah. And I would stay in a corridor where you can put your back to.
Smart idea. He's gonna go right back to the cap and say, "Come on and get me."
You should turn around.
Look how this
though.
5A's doubling back. King Donkey's doubling back. Lit.
And he spots him up.
Good spot.
Just in time too, because he had his whole side exposed on that open road. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. That was very good.
Well, and he got the intel he needs, so he can turn his tank in that direction. He knows he has to either come to the right or the left of those two corridors.
Yeah.
He's in good shape. He's guessing right now.
Yes, he is. Amazing.
I have a feeling you're going to come back.
Oh, right
And
when
he
he
turned at
started
the
looking
last
the other
second.
way. Oh no.
Oh no. And the shot bounces.
So as long as he doesn't do anything crazy, stays in the cap, doesn't take any damage or an HE shot or anything like that, he does have enough time to cap out the timer.
Yeah.
It's less points. It's only 2 points to cap out versus kill all, but it's still a win, and that matters.
We
I
tie
would-
it
Tie
up.
right here.
I would guess
very
that,
dangerous.
King Donkey would be loading some AG right now to high explosive to get the reset. But I mean by cap out of it.
Oh.
Mm.
Not liking the sideways position.
No.
I don't
It
know if
seems to
that's
be working,
appropriate to
though. I
say,
would-
but I know, but I don't know how it wouldn't work for me. I know that.
I had the same fear. I thought he was going to take one right in the side, but
Yeah, I'm not sure how
5A
he didn't.
yeah, the 5A knows. Well, I think what he doesn't want to do is waste the shot when he doesn't need to because the reload's long, and gives the 5A the advantage to get another shot off.
Here we go. Dingy has no idea he's coming. This is dangerous territory, though, for the 5A. He's going to be exposed for a
Yeah.
moment. There it is.
Oh, that is an
Oh.
10.
Mm.
Was that
Thought
HE?
for sure
Can you
there'd be
guys
some-
tell?
Could not tell. Figured some high explosive would do at least some nominal damage.
Get a reset.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if
Yeah.
the conf wagon hasn't loaded some sort of HE for him.
Yeah.
One hit could end him.
He
Not
even
even
get
half the
close,
thing.
yeah.
9 seconds.
Oh,
Oh.
great
takes
shot.
it.
Clutch. Woo!
Takes it.
BT ties it up 1-1.
Well played.
Yeah, very well played. Great job there.
Monkey, would you like to get up damage since you did such a great job?
Yeah, sure. Um. Okay, King Donkey with 1862. Wow, he shot a lot of times. 18 times. Bad luck on the pens. Leads 24, 1991. Killer Calf Scout 1169. Kukaniko 2523. Private Militia 2342. Odin's Cavalry 1690. And Wolf Silver 1887. Again, a really great damage spread. But the big baller was Kinga 26. 3 kills, 4,044.
Nice.
Dis, do you want to do TG?
Yeah, over on the TG side, we have a Traumatosis there with almost 3K in that Panzer Comp. Blue Crabs are fun with 2K. Both of the 57 heavies, only one of them, Mud Turtle, really punched out some damage there. But Gold Peak in his Object 263 punched out over 4,000 damage, which is fantastic. Bull Monkey with almost 3K and blocked 2K. Really nice game right there. J-Cal with 1,000. And then finally, the winner chicken dinner and the MVP of that match was Dingiest Rat with almost 2.5K and blocking almost 2,400 in his Panzer Kampfwagen 7. Great game.
Yeah, great game, both teams, both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it up 1-1, so this is exactly what we were looking for. Looks like we're going to have a fight. And so with that said, I know some people have asked a lot of questions about standings and playoffs and stuff. So we'll, I guess, take a couple minutes and go over that real quick. Um, so starting off with the Championship League. So on the North American side, um, first place right now you have Nightmare with a record of 22 wins, 8 losses, 114 points. So they
Nice
did
job.
lose a match. I heard somebody mention that they've been undefeated. They are not undefeated. They lost the very first match of the season to L7. Other than that, though, they've won out. Um, the only team that came super close to beating them was PPW in a 3-2 matchup. They beat Panda 3-0, Immortals 3-1, KMD 6-1, RDY 5-3-1, and HN 3-0. Not updated on the standings, though. There was a match report in there from last night. They did beat HN a second time 3-0. Right below them is Panda. Panda has 20 wins, 8 losses, 104 points. So Panda's in second place. They beat Immortals. I think they did beat them 3-1. So they're definitely living up to their reputation in tournament play. They're just doing a great job, all around great job by that team. They've come out, they've played a couple of tough games, a couple of tough losses, but they've also had some really big victories. And right behind them, third place, Immortals, the record 20 wins, 9 losses, 102 points. So they've had, I think the only 2 teams they have lost to so far this season is Nightmare and Panda. Other than that, they have beaten everybody else, I do believe. I'm pretty sure they beat L7, KMD 3-0, PPW, RDY 5 twice, and HN twice, I do believe. Behind them, you have L7, who was definitely a favorite coming into the season. I think they were definitely a considered top 2 or 3 at least team. Kind of a weird turn. How they're kind of where I guess people would expect them to be, but definitely a lot of potential. And what really matters is playoff time. So right behind them, KMD again. Last week they were second place. After again losing 2 matches back to back like that hurts. And in the doubles weekend, they've dropped from second place all the way down to 5th place. But again, they've come out, they've dominated a lot of teams. I think the only 2 teams they have lost to was Immortals and Nightmare. But unfortunately, they lost to Nightmare twice. So that definitely dropped them this week. But they will rebound. They're going to come back. They've got some big games coming up this week, and you're going to see those guys bounce back. Right below them, PPW is a team that is, I think, really underrated. PPW, very underrated. Right now, they are sitting in 6th place. They've done a good job so far this season. It was kind of a borderline as whether or not they were going to be playing in Championship League this season, but they've come out, they've done a good job. They've hung tough with some really good teams, and I think they're going to be one of those underappreciated teams in the playoffs, and that can be dangerous sometimes. And right below them, RDY5. As you guys know, RDY5's been around for a long time. They have a record 6 wins, 23 losses, 28 points. They've been around since like the dawn of time almost, and that's one of the big reasons why they're in the Championship League. They've just got a great reputation. They always have. Unfortunately, I mean, they're still going to shake off a little bit of the rust, but have no fear. They're just getting into shape, getting in tune, and I have a feeling they're going to be all set come playoff time anyways. Below them, Nightmare's second team, which is Halfway Human, with a record of 7, 24, and 22. Try to harp on these guys just a little bit because they are severely underachieving in my book. They do have a great team, a great roster. They have some really underrated players, still some fairly new callers, but so far they've managed to kind of hang on. They've played a couple of teams really tough, but come playoff season, hopefully they're going to be ready to rock and roll, and hopefully they can just get it right on track. Definitely a good team, and they can surprise you. For them, their biggest thing is who they bring out to play. And going into the European Championship League, so this one's it's been kind of a funky season for the Championship League and the European side of things. So to start with, 2 teams I'm going to talk about real fast is Nox and MVP, and they're both 7th and 8th. Both teams have forfeited the season for various reasons. So really, there's not much to discuss with those two other than they've both got points, but yeah, they've both forfeited the rest of the season, so they're not really playing. So in first place, you have UTA. UTA in the European Championship League is in first place. However, today they did drop to Corruption. They did lose 3-2, 14 points to 8 points. That's not reflected on this, but they are still first according to these standings at 21 wins, 8 losses, 110 points. Right below them, UNL. UNL is definitely a favorite. I think a lot of people would view them as probably the favorite to win it all in the playoffs. They've definitely had a string of I wouldn't say bad luck. I would say a big whoopsie. They played a player that they had removed from their own roster in a couple of games, so they lost a lot of points on that. Other than that, their only other defeat came at the hands of NSN, and that was a 3-2 victory for NSN. Other than that, they were steamrolling a lot of people real quickly. Right below them, Shine. So Shine came in and took over for Naya. Naya decided to start the season, then decided they're not going to play. So Shine is in third place with a record of 18, 10, and 96 points. The thing to remember here, Shine took 6 losses without playing a game because Naya had to forfeit the first week. So Shine has won 18 games and they've only lost 4 games. Important to note that they have, as a team, only lost 4 games, even though the record says 10. So they're definitely a team you're going to have to keep an eye on. I-66, right below them, sitting in 4th spot, 18-10, 86 points. A German team, they've come a long way. They gained a lot of notoriety, I think, in the global map. Definitely a good team. They've played a lot of different teams tough. Again, they're sitting in 4th place with 86 points and a record of 18-10, same record as Shine. They did drop to Shine this past weekend. However, yeah, they've played a lot of other teams tough, and they're right there. They're right in the mix of things. All 4 of those teams are right in striking range of each other, so anything between those top 4 teams can really happen. And sitting right on the kind of the cusp of that bubble, the team right below them, NSN, record of 17 wins, 16 losses, and 84 points. Again, the highlight of the season for NSN is they did beat UNL 3-2. Um, Definitely, that's an achievement that anybody should be proud of. I mean, UNL's been around for a long time, great team, but again, NSN's had some tough games, and they've managed to hang in there with the best of them. And right below them in 6th place, the last team we'll talk about in this division is going to be Corruption. Corruption's at 11, 15, and 56 points. This week, they had kind of an easy go of things. I don't think they had to play a game because I do believe they had one of the bottom 2 teams that was a forfeit. So 2 forfeit victories consecutively. So, yeah, that puts them right back in the fold. They do have an opportunity to move up a couple of spots. I'm not going to bother talking about Knox or MVPs again, but Corruption today did beat UTA, the first place team, 3-2, and I think that's important to note as well. And dropping down to the North American Pro Division. So I'm going to run down the standings real fast, and I'll go back up, and I'll touch on a couple of things, because we do have two different teams in here that do play in the Pro Division. So first off, in first place, you have On Your 6, 23, 11, 118 points. If I think about this correctly, I think that is the maximum amount of points you can get. I don't think you can. I think they got a perfect record so far. Below them, you have CZR, 21, 11, 110. Decoy in third with 19 wins, 12 losses, 94 points. Punished right below them with 18 wins, 11 losses, 88 points. Easy 8th right below them with 14 wins, 17 losses, 1 draw, which is worth 1 point. Keep in mind, 69 points they do have. X Factor right below them, 12, 21, 52 points. That right there is your playoff top 6 teams. On the outside looking in, you have Silva with 8 wins, 19 losses, 1 draw, 41 points. Redneck Crew with 8 wins, 21 losses, and 34 points. So, going back up to the top real quick, On Your 6, first place, 23 wins, 11 losses, 118 points. Punished, 4th place, last week was 2nd place, 18 wins, 11 losses, 88 points. So, from 2 teams right now, that are in this division. We'll start, I guess, with On Your Six, Lonky, and Beaver. So you guys, at this point, I do believe you've played everybody. You had your doubles weekend against Punish, which I think was going to be one of your toughest matchups. Um,
Yes.
so, what other team that is coming up in your schedule do you think is going to give you the biggest scare? I wouldn't say the biggest scare, but I'd say one team you think you're going to have to look out for that's going to be coming up in your schedule, which is going to be
Um,
CZR, Decoy,
Caesar. Yeah.
either. Yes.
Decoy. Decoy also. It's
I
Both
mean,
of
funny,
those
like
teams.
a lot of these matches, especially in the beginning, have gone to tiebreakers. Like we have a lot of losses, and it's been like nail biting games. It's like they haven't been easy. It's not like we've 3-0'd a whole lot of teams, and these things have gone to Ghost Town, and it's so much. It's been so close, like we have so many losses. The record shows that, but we're pulling it out. So, and we had a lot of changes within the team, within the clan recently, and so it's kind of like a new group of people. Um, and so we're slowly but surely coming together and learning, how to best work together. And we've got a much smaller group now, so that's great for me. I get lots of playtime now, but again, it's lots of pressure, right? You remember when I was with you, Sinister,
It
on
definitely
your
is pressure.
clans, and oh my God, yeah, especially in Ghost Town, like Jesus, I would prefer that we just win, but yeah, it's been great. We're having a ton of fun in the GTL. Everything's been going great, but I would say CZR and Decoy, in my opinion. Beaver?
um, yeah, I agree with that. CZR Decoy, eighth. I mean, there's not just one
Yeah.
team. I mean, there's
So
there's several.
I got a big announcement to make because one match actually just finished up, and that is CZR versus Eighth. Eighth beats CZR 3-0.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. That's huge.
You know,
That's a big one. That's a big one. That's
That
second
is a
place
big
in the
one.
pro division, falling, and that puts Eighth right now. That bumps them up to, let's see, 85 points. That
Well, I
still
guess
puts them
that's who
behind
I'm
Punish,
afraid
but
of then.
that puts them right there in the mix
that's
of
fair.
things. And I know a lot of people are familiar with Eighth, but one thing I mean to keep an eye on is in the Russian tournament they did beat KMD in the Russian
Well,
tournament. I mean that's an achievement right there. KMD is definitely a great team, so I mean that's don't ever count them out. I guess is the moral of the story there.
we don't
Um,
count anybody out. And I think
and
I
that's
think
good.
some
That's the way
teams
you got to
do
look
that,
at it.
and our team even like
And that's when you pay
sometimes,
for it.
they'll say like, oh, okay, we'll look at the win eight or whatever, even if it's just a scrim, and it's like you can't do that because the minute you do that and you become complacent as a team, it all goes to hell. We've all seen it. We've all been there, and it's like anything can happen on any given match day, and you just always have to be on your A game. And yeah, we don't sell anybody short. That's for sure. At least not on my watch. Because
Absolutely,
I consider it the kiss of death. It always is. You guys know.
absolutely. And switching over to disc real quick. So Punish last week, before last week, should I say? You guys were in second place.
Yeah.
2 games against On Your Six, dropping both games. Now guys back down to fourth, still in the playoffs. I don't think you guys have secured a playoff spot, but I think all you need to do is win at least one series, and I think the other two teams cannot catch you points wise.
Yeah, that would
So
that would be nice.
I foresee it happening. I do strongly believe no matter what, Punish is going to make the playoffs. But your point of view, so dropping down a couple of spots, where's the attitude at
uh,
now?
well, I think that was a good wake up call for our team. When you get on a roll and you're doing well in a tournament, sometimes you start believing your own juju. And we were, I think, riding high on that going into the battles with On Your Six. And On Your Six, anybody who knows and has been around this tournament stuff for a while knows that they're a solid team and can bring it. And they put it down on us, so it was good. It's good as someone who coaches professionally for my career. Um, losses are where you find out what you're made out of. So I'm looking forward to the second half of the season here and seeing what we can do.
Another big update to report for you guys is that KMD has beat Immortals 3-0.
Woo!
Whoa.
That
That's a
happened
big
tonight
win.
as well.
Whoa,
That is a
whoa.
very big win.
Ooh.
Um,
See, you
so
never,
there you have it
never
in
It must have
know.
been that
the
scrim
Pro
with
Division.
Punish last night that got him ready.
It must be. So I'm just going to go down the European Pro standings real fast. Here's my issue with the European Pro. I don't know a lot of the teams very well. So you got Win, first place, and they're just dominating the entire field at 21,810 points. They did forfeit one game, so in reality, they've really only lost like 4 games, I do believe. CDRX in second place, 19,11,100. WOT UK 16-12, 82 points. AN 15 wins, 12 losses, 76. AWD with 15 wins, 18 losses, 72 points. They are riding along right now in sixth place. I'm sorry, fifth place. UTD, I do believe these guys have forfeited because it seems as though every week they are confirming forfeits. So they were 12-0 when they forfeited. Now they've lost 12 straight at 64 points. They were dominating everybody. Not sure what happened there, but fall from grace, I guess you could say. They didn't lose a game that they played, which is kind of amazing. Um, Viz in seventh place, which they can only go up at this point. 9 wins, 20 losses, 40 points, and LBS rounding out the field. 7 wins, 21 losses, and 32 points. Um, so real quick in the playoff, anybody that's on the European side of things, playoffs, what you're going to get is Win and CDRX are going to be the home teams from the Pro Division, and UTA, right as it stands right now, that is, UTA and UNL will be getting first round buys. So as the points would stand, that would put Win playing AN and CDRX playing WOT UK in the first round of the regional playoffs, which is all the European teams playing each other to determine next season's championship teams. And on the NA side, as we said earlier tonight, 6 pro teams and 2 intermediate teams take on the championship teams to determine the um, next season's championship teams. When that's all said and concluded, the way that the system works, you take all the teams collectively, all the championship teams to start with, and rank them first through however many are left. Then comes the pro teams. Take all those teams, rank them North American, European, one through whatever. It goes by points, then by wins, losses, ties. So that's how we'll determine the rankings. As it would stand right now, Nightmare would be the number 1 overall seed, which means if they do come up against a European team, they have the option of first map or first server. Um, but not to leave out the North American Intermediate League. Last one we're going to do, and we'll make this real quick. Right now, it is going to be a kind of, I'd say kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6-way fight. They do have a lot more teams than any other division. You have second PD and first, 23-6, 118 points. Again, spot on perfect. TG right on their heels, 22-9, 116 points. Right behind them, K-Logs, 18 wins, 10 losses, 96 points. Behind them, AGBR, 18 wins, 9 losses, 92 points. SKB, 17 wins, 14 losses, 88 points. Behind them, HVC, 17 wins, 13 losses, 84 points. So I guess you could kind of put Steel Dragons in there as well at 15, 18, and 76 points. Below those guys, THT, Time Honored and True, 13, 17, 62. Devil with 10, 17 at 52. C7 Cav, glad to see those guys come out and play this season. 11, 18, 52. AMD, 12 wins, 21 losses, 50 points. AET with 42 losses. Well, that's because they forfeited at the beginning of the season. But going back to the top teams, so really you have from Steel Dragons up, pretty much still in contention. Steel Dragons in both SKB and HVC are going to be stretches to make the playoffs. So really the top 4 teams are pretty close to each other. AGBR, Brazilian team. K-Logs, I do believe, is a Brazilian team. Maybe not. I'm not going to say that. TG, was Washington tonight, and second PD. These two are going to probably put whatever team wins this is going to be in the driver's seat. That's for sure. For
That's
the
super
playoffs.
exciting that they're that close.
Yeah,
That's like, That's really great. I mean, that's obviously more entertaining for us as, the viewers, but oh, so much pressure. But I love it.
It
That's
definitely
what it's
is.
all about. I always recurring theme from Monkey, yeah, pressure. I'm a basket case, but that's so cool. That's what it's all about, right?
Absolutely. And all right, as I'm sure you guys are all ready for some action for this to continue.
Yes,
So
Yes.
yeah,
sir.
here we go.
Yep.
I'm gonna
These guys are probably
tag both
rock.
teams
chomping
right
at the
now.
bit to go.
Yeah, tie game. Tie game.
All right, here we go.
Oh, this
Here
gave
we
them
go.
time
I'm
to go over
asking
their
both teams now.
strats 7 or 8 times by now. So everybody knows
Yeah,
their
they've had a
positions and
good
takes.
lot to talk about this. All right, looks like both teams are ready, so we're gonna fire up the timer, and here we go, 1-1 right now, and yeah,
Should be a good one. Tied up, and should have TG coming out on the north end. I think the north end is kind of very telling on this map because it, you have options of either kind of turtling or playing the cap side or playing the field. I feel like from the south, the general meta is to try to play the field.
Now, I have been noticing a lot of teams this season have been making strong 1-2 line pushes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That seems to
You know,
be
several teams we've played have done it.
yeah. In our scrim last night, the team we scrim against, that's what they did. So yeah, we're seeing it.
looks like we got a little bit of stalemate going on here.
Well, it
They
definitely
all
looks like
get
Second
in.
Panzer. They know all their tanks and they'll throw them. Well, again, we've given them a lot of time, so I'm sure everybody knows what they're playing.
Yep. Just hovering over their tank in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
As a caller, and I'm sure some of you guys would agree with me as well, this is the type of opportunity you get though in a long break like that, where you start to second guess what it is you were going to originally do, and you start coming
yeah.
up with ways, and I call it ways to defeat yourself. That's what I call
Yes. You start straying from the script, right? All these fanciful ideas start floating through your head. What if? And
Yeah,
yeah, if
it
it's
was a
not
long
broke,
break, but
don't fix it.
don't fix it. But I think it's awesome that it was a break when they're both tied. I mean,
Yeah.
one could say, well, we were up 2-0, and then we had this longer than normal break. But it's like, no, it's all even ground right now. And so, yeah, they're changing it and changing it and changing it back. And pressure. Need the David
almost
Bowie
30
song.
seconds left, and nobody's picked a single tank.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
My gosh.
they're cruising.
Definitely
I'm
no
getting,
counter picking here.
It's possible that it could launch with like something like 5v8 or something. I
Oh.
wouldn't know anything about that,
It's happened.
but that's
Yeah.
the danger.
It's like
Tanks coming
Second
up.
Panzer is throwing up theirs. TG tanks are now popping on. Like
Got some
everybody from TG has their
chieftains.
tanks up.
TG coming in with
Ooh,
2
and the-
chieftains, 2 bat chats, 2 machines, and 2 super conquerors.
Both
Very
interesting
pairy.
lineups.
The second Panzer has the 100 LT. That's going to be my next tier 10. I'm not there yet, but it's close. Bones Cavalry and Militia Batchats. Tough enough. And my go-to tank, the IS-7, leads 24 and Kinga in Super Conquerors. And I totally missed the last 2.
Sorry.
Damn it.
We're on it. We're on the ball.
We got to launch. We got to go.
I know you gotta go. Dang. What is it? Wazzy 5? I'm trying to imagine it in my head. Was it Wazzy 511? 111? 5
5As, I think. A couple of
Yep.
those.
Find out in a few seconds.
Yeah, both teams have picked some mobility, but you still have those
Yep.
super conks, which are not the most mobile. So be interesting to see how those are used.
3
Stuck me
groups
over
for
here in the
2nd
corner.
Panzer, and only 2 groups have spawned for TG.
Yeah. And
That's just
TG with that
random,
lineup,
isn't
they're
it?
going to go straight to the field. It looks like they're pushing towards the 2 line right now with everything. So they are not going to go hold capside on the 7 through 9 line. It looks like 2nd Panzer is in a nice spread across the field.
Looks like we're gonna see that 1-2 line push we had just talked about.
Yep. Try to get the Super Conks in the bowl with the Chieftains for support. Maybe fly the bats with the machines down the 1 line. Nothing on the 1 line, so that's wide open for those bats and machines to take it. You can get them all the way down there to that K1 spot. That can be devastating.
And TG again doesn't know it, but they have, I think, an overmatch.
Yeah, they do, but that hesitation on the 1 line,
Big time.
there's no need for that. When you're doing the 1 line push, you push. You got 4 tanks out of the game right now, pretty much for 2nd Panzer. 2 on the other side of the map, on the other side of the
Yeah.
railroad. You gotta go and get these 2 Super Conks out ASAP.
From those
I'm
bad
not sure
chats
what they're
from,
waiting on.
Second
Yeah,
Panzer
yeah,
around.
I don't know, and then you got to send the Chieftains and the Super Conks over the bowl and take out those 5As, right? You got a 4v2,
Yep,
2 4v2s.
definitely.
Do it. You got to go.
And here comes the pain right now from the. There's an ammo rack on Super Conk.
Leads, yeah.
Super Conk lights is a 1-shot
Ooh.
for 2nd Pans. Someone can get him out, but all the autoloaders are on reload right now.
Yep.
Comes that LT trying to do some flank shots.
He's trying to take
Trying to
out
hassle
Gold
him.
Peak. Gold Peak's a 1. Gold Peak goes down.
He did.
Right now, 2nd Panzer's getting the better of it. There goes the Super Conk down.
So much to cover.
Now those bat chats have flanked all the way around for 2nd Panzer, and they're now in the fight and are hunting down the Super Conk.
Oh,
Machines do take
Kinda
out that
went
Super
down.
Conqueror in the back.
Bull Monkey gets set on fire and he's all done.
the machine.
Coach
Well,
should
needs
go
to be
down here.
Very careful.
Coach is a 1. Coach goes down.
It was kind of weird. PUBG died with a full, not with a full burn phase. I think he had 2 shots left, but he held his shots for quite a while. I'm not quite sure why.
I just didn't think this game was gonna go this way with the way 2nd Panzer spread out
It's
so
because
much.
they hesitated. TG hesitated.
Yeah,
They had the
did a full
advantage,
committed push.
and you gotta. I know as a caller, it's hard to make that call, but when you have the intel, you gotta pull the trigger because things happen too fast in this game.
And there it is.
But good job by 2nd Panzer. Just being patient, waiting for those bat chats to come around, and I think better focused fire.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
In my opinion, when you have an overmatch, you need to capitalize on it. It's not going to be an overmatch forever, so you need to capitalize as soon as you possibly can. Especially when you know you have an overmatch, that's the time to take advantage. And as you were saying earlier in the game, a 1-line push, you don't ever want to stop. If that's going to be your game plan, that's what you ever want to do. If you stop, you are going to die. You need to get to that end. You need to get down to the 1 line, and you need to, or you need to learn for that. You need to get to the K line, and you need to make them pay for it, basically. If you don't do that, you're definitely not going to win with a 1-line push. All right.
Pants, you want to go over damage? Or are you busy?
I'm
moving?
already, I'm in the garage doing some...
Yeah, I just clicked off the screen on that one, but feel free to.
Okay. Okay. On the 2nd
Mhm.
Panzer side, Kinga killed 1 and 1688. Leeds 1728 is the only one that went down, but that's okay. He put good work in. Wolf Silver 3416. King Donkey 4197. Militia 2028. Odin's Cavalry 2111. Kukuniko 1235 and the 100 LT. Lonky's next tier 10 tank. Tough enough in the IS-7, her usual tank, 597. That's okay. IS-7 can be tough, and he was kind of at the tracks. Gold Peak, Bat Chat, 400. Pug, version 2, 1550. Bull Monkey, 1632. Blue Crabs Are Fun, 419. And the Chieftain, Radbird, 1171. Coach, 803. Cruiser, 1307. And Traumatosis in the Machine, 2455. That's my machine voice. I hate it, though. I hate it. Good for you,
Hey, it punched out some
Traumatosis.
damage there.
Yeah, I know. I can't make mine do that.
All right, let's get ready for this next match. So,
Well,
ahead,
and
Bull
one thing we saw in
Monkey.
Berlin is that TG is definitely capable of coming back and eyeing this thing up. So I would just say turn up the aggression a little bit more on TG's part. Don't hesitate. Go in there and get him.
Definitely. Hesitation will get you killed.
Yep. I think that's one thing they did on Berlin when they took that second match is they were just the more aggressive team, and it paid off for them. And here they were just, you could just see
I've always
it,
been a
right?
fan
You
of
could just see
aggression.
it. Just
A lot of times it
I'd
can
rather
take teams
die
by
being
surprise.
aggressive. Yeah, I'd rather lose
Absolutely.
being aggressive than get bled out and everybody not knowing what to do, trying to stay hull down, trying to figure out what the other team's doing. By the time you go through that whole line of thought, you've lost 2 or 3 tanks, and now you're in panic mode.
Sometimes you
Yeah,
can really
and of
catch the
course,
other team off guard, too. The
Mm-hmm.
aggression, because you're sitting there
Yeah.
just thinking, like, okay, we're going to do this and sneaky, sneaky. And then this team comes in as a group and tries to bulldoze you. It's like, it's very effective sometimes.
Yeah, little shock and awe.
so
Yeah, so
my
what
And
were
the
you
take
thing
going
is,
on
to
it,
say?
if you
go ahead.
go back and watch, um, got a dinghy stream from Friday night. It was KMD versus Nightmare. They did play Berlin. I think it's one of the first maps on that.
Yes.
But anyways, if you go back and watch, there were a couple of times where when I speak aggression, and I speak it to a lot of the guys, is making the most of your opportunity the moment it's available, not waiting, not hesitating, not thinking about it. If you're going to make that move, you go for it. And they did a great job of that against KMD. Um, they saw the overmatch, and they just, poof, they're gone. There they go. And you'll see that, and you'll watch another priority I like to see is when you're looking at focus fires, what tanks do you really want out of the game first? Well,
Yeah.
I can tell you if there's a Moss sitting in front of you and you can easily get around him and there's tanks behind him, he's probably not going to be
Get
a
him.
big target. You're looking for the E4, you're looking for, the 57 heavy.
Yeah, the 50B. Don't
The
let that thing get
machine.
another clip
Exactly.
out.
Exactly. So you're looking
The
for something else
machine.
other than that, and then just go back to him and get him later. And everybody else is going to shoot you too, so why not? But there you go.
Well, and the trolley tanks that you're going to bounce half your shots off, like an IS-7. Get the tanks out, get guns out of the game, right? And get those big guns that are
Absolutely,
to hurt
the
you,
one-shots
those
too.
auto loaders that are going to, and that's the worst. It's those one-shot tanks that survive for 3 to 5 minutes.
So it looks like TG's going to come out with the same exact lineup they just had.
Yeah.
2 bats, 2 machines,
they
2
are.
super conks, 2 chieftains.
Sega Panzer are going to bring out an E4 this time. 2 bad chats, 2 IS-7s, 2 Conquerors, and the 5A.
So again, if TG decides for the field push, the one thing that can sometimes happen is those conks can be just a little bit slow in getting into the position if you're really going to go. So that'll be something to watch. But
No light tank.
hull down in that bull or even on the ridgeline, they're super effective. But it just depends what your play style is going to be. Are you going to try to hold your side of the map, or is it go?
Oh, here we go on game number 4. Second
Hoping for Ghost Town.
Game number
Second Panzer
4.
Division up
Yep.
2-1. Just do or die right here for TG. A tie means second PD wins. So TG either needs to cap them, kill more tanks than them, or kill them all.
Why does that mean why does a tie mean that second Panzer wins? Oh, because
So a tie,
yeah, why?
would go 2, 1, and 1. So after 4 games, there would be no way TG could potentially win. The best they could do is tie. So it could be like, for instance, 2, 2, and 1 after 4 games. So the only reason we play a 5th is if it's tied. So in this
Right.
case, no matter what they did, they couldn't tie it, or they couldn't win. I mean,
Oh,
because that they couldn't win.
Okay.
That's why we play
Panzer's
ghost
taking
town, so
the
Oh,
cap
yeah.
side. I thought they were almost going to leave some tanks out there too long, but
First time for early cap pressure on any of these
Yep.
games tonight.
yeah, the spot where you stick those bat chats behind those 2 houses there's a lot of debris you got to get through to get shots on those. Normally, some teams would start throwing some high explosive rounds in there to start knocking down those buildings.
This is going to be
Machines are
very
going
dangerous
after
right
the
now for
E4.
TG. They're going to have to be very conscious
Yeah.
of that timer.
They're
They need
down
to start
under
getting
a
some
minute
tanks.
right now.
They got to try to get one of those bat chats heading back towards the other side of the tracks. Oh, and they just push right through, and they're right on the E4. Ooh.
Yeah,
He's
he's
gone.
dead. Oh my god.
Wow. Now they got to get shots on the cap.
Those
Yep.
people know how to use theirs. Oops, traumatosis went down in the machine. But they saved one of them. Was that a good trade?
They're down to
was
30
a
seconds
fair
with
trade.
no cap reset, and they have tanks on reload, and they're stuffed up. Second Panzer did a great job rotating down to the bridge and stuffing that push.
Here
And
comes
now they have
Pug
the 5A
V2. He's
holding
going to
it.
get into the cap. He should be able to. He's unspotted, so he should be able to get into the cap circle with these bats and at least draw them off.
Both
There it
bats
is
are
right
in.
there.
There we
Good
go.
job.
And that resets the timer completely, so they should be all set.
Cruz goes down for TG.
I feel like they
TG's
both
bleeding
should
a lot,
have
though.
focused King
They are
Kong.
bleeding.
Both the bats were splitting on both of the other bats.
Yeah,
They didn't focus one.
yeah. Gold Peak is a one-shot, but all the bats are on reload, just doing a circle dance out here around the cap.
Mm-hmm.
See, here's
I
what I'd
guess
like
it
to
was-
see. Here's what I'd like
Now,
to see. a
Gold
little bit of
Peak
focus
is
fire
going
out of
to
TG.
actually load first, but he is going to be very susceptible to Odin's cavalry. He's going to go down.
Already. Oh, that was.
Looks like Bull
Oh,
Monkey's shooting
jeez.
HE at the 111.5.
Oh, wow.
I don't think
That
it's-
was
Wow.
a huge
That chat's pulling
takedown
out.
right there. But those bats now got to get out of. Yeah.
Wow, I was focused so much on the bat battle that I missed what the heck happened to the rest of the.
Well, yeah. Everything else is bleeding
TG.
out.
Oh,
You see how they put, I don't know if you can see real quick, how they put these Conquerors back on the 8-9 line, and all those Conquerors did was sit back there and farm from each direction.
They
It's a
did.
really
One
smart
of them was
move by
half health
Second
right off the
Panzer.
bat.
Yeah, but that rotation to move them back there stuffed the bridge push, and then it stuffed any push coming over the cap. That was
there it
really
is.
nice tactics by Second Panzer there. Well done.
There it is. Second PD coming out tonight and taking it 3-1. Good games all around. Definitely some fun games to watch. Entertaining.
5K from Wolf Silver. Holy moly.
He had a monster
Yeah.
day.
Good stuff.
Yeah, he was doing some work over there. I think he held off almost their entire team.
Yeah, he
not their
ran down
entire
there
team, but
and
he held
grabbed
off a
that
good portion.
corner.
Yeah.
Mhm. And just farmed him. Every time they poked, he was just hurting people. No, I got to give it to TG. They came out with a lot of aggression this time. They have a great damage spread. It just didn't go their way. I mean,
I totally agree. I think their big lack was on focus fire. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
really have they didn't really have the best of focus fire on that last
For
game there.
instance,
Their
that
bat
bat chat,
chats
yeah,
should just taken exactly. Yep.
that was
Over at
critical.
the tracks, they got four guys trying to fight, one guy, and then they have one guy that's fighting four guys. The problem is on the other side, second PD is already on top of that one guy. If I were TG there, I would have either went completely under the bridge and gone and fought him. We got the two bats off the cap so we can circle back to the center and fight from the center. But just don't do something that's going to cause you to bleed, especially if you're losing all your health to one tank. Just get out of there,
Yeah,
reset, do something just a little bit different. But all in all, good games tonight.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
excited to see it, and I'm excited to be out. Thank you guys so much for having me tonight, and we also thank you guys for coming out and streaming so many games for GTL. Definitely appreciated. Big shout out to Hell's Beaver and everybody at Wednesday Night Fights. Lonky Disc for coming out as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, our
Lots
pleasure.
of fun.
All right, thanks for letting us come do it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, with Hales getting back off vacation, and hopefully, I won't have to work so much next week. We can get a lot more streamed, but real life gets in the way.
It always does. We all get busy from time to time, so I definitely feel the pain there.
Mm. I was really hoping for a tiebreaker, but I think everybody did great. I think they really just wanted that E4 out. I think they got a little E4 centric. And this way they sent both the
Well,
machines over. I know I'm
That
still
was a
talking
smart
about
move.
it, but
I think that was a smart move to get him out.
it
I mean,
was
trading a machine for an E4,
right.
it's not an
yeah.
ideal trade, but it
They
worked.
just didn't. Yeah, they. It was smart to get him out, but they also, like Dis said, they had those super cogs kind of backed up, and I
It's
think once they crested the bridge, it was not such a good idea anymore.
I think that also goes down to a little bit in the calling is that just because something works right away in your strat doesn't mean that the rest of it's going to work. And they took out that E4 and they just almost felt like, oh, we got to go through the bridge. And
Yeah.
once that was stuffed, it was like, mm. I would have liked to see them all rotate back to the field, maybe swing a bat chat up on the hill. There were some other options they could have explored there, but I like that they stayed aggressive. Just didn't work out their
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. All right. Are we
Well,
staying or going? We're playing puppies, or I would like to go
we're
work on getting my LT and selling my machine.
well, let's go play puppies. All right. Well, thank you for
Oh.
everybody that came out to watch. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Thanks for Phase coming out, modding the room, giving us the full rundown of the GTL standings. And
Yeah,
hope
that was
everybody has a
great.
great night. Lonky Dis, anybody have any finishing statements?
No, just loving this GTL tournament, and we'll see you on Wednesday Night Fights next week.
Yeah. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for coming out, and thank you so much for having us. Thank you.